Today on Inspiration Plus with Yemu, we have an amazing woman who is passionate about health and well-being. Liz Bokani Pasipanodya is a degree-qualified naturopath and nutritionist based in Sydney, Australia. She is also the founder of Wutano Health and Wellness. Please stay tuned for more. For honoring us and wanting to be a part of our program. And we look forward to hearing more about the work that you do and what you are doing out there in the community. I know I am one person who's very, very passionate about natural medicine. So it'll be good to actually have you, talk to our audience and our viewers a little bit more about the work that you do. So I would love to hear more about the reason why you decided to go with alternative medicine instead of, my understanding is there was a time when you really considered to become a medical doctor, but ended up changing to alternative medicine or naturopath. So please tell us a little bit more about that.
Right. Thanks for having me, Yemu. It's great to be on your program. So I actually moved over from the conventional medicine because I'm a trained pharmacy technician. And when I was growing up, I really wanted to be a medical doctor until I saw my sister being helped by a nutritionist and a biochemist. And I knew that nutrition actually could help. And so that's where the interest started, and seeing and then, as you live in life and then you see other relatives having the same issues and seeing nutrition being the first step, not that we didn't go to doctors, we still do, but then you go after you've tried other things or you actually sort yourself out nutritionally and then you go and see your doctor and then you're now with medicine helping other things that you're doing. So that interest really started because my sister was helped by a nutritionist when I was 17, and I knew that was what I wanted to do with the rest of my life.
Wow. And so you, my understanding is you left Zimbabwe more than 10 years ago to come to Australia. So what made you come to live in Australia?
I came because my then husband had a job here, so we came. We had a work visa.
All right.
Yeah.
And you are now running a successful. Again, the word successful is relative, but according to me, it's you're running a successful business. And can you please tell us a little bit more about the business that you're running at the moment?
Okay, I have a naturopathic practice. So it's based here in Sydney. It's called Wutano Natural Health Solutions, although I consult with people from basically all over the world, really. So I specialize in endocrine. So anything to do with hormones is what I do, and specifically women's health. So I help people with polycystic ovarian syndrome, women that are miscarrying, that have a tendency to miscarry, and diabetic women, and stress. With corporate stress, I tend to have a lot more males than females for my clients in that area. And I have just started, I've had a few kids that I've helped with ADHD lately. And we've had some really good results. So that's basically what I do. And I am also a qualified remedial massage therapist. So I work with pregnant women. So we help you to fall pregnant. Once you've fallen pregnant, if you've got any issues, we then make sure that we're looking after your body, the body structure itself, your muscle structure. That's where the body work comes in. So we do the massages, you're pregnant, just to make sure we're supporting you, and then do postnatal support massage after the baby has come. So it's really looking after you, helping you to fall pregnant. When you've fallen pregnant, we make sure we're looking after you, and then we're looking after you after you get the baby, and then out you go, and then
Wow, amazing.
Go into the world.
Yeah, so you really look after everything to do with health and wellness, pretty much.
Yes, I do. And I do seminars as well. So our motto at Utano is C, which is basically we support you, we educate you, and we empower you, right?
Wow.
So support is really when we identify what the issue is with you. So you come in, you're like, my periods are everywhere, Liz, what can I do? So we support you to make sure that we reestablish them. But then we empower you by making sure that we are giving you the right information so that if we are to move out of your life, you can still live better than what you did before you saw us. And then the education is to really make you understand your body, to make you understand the condition that you have, so you can also look after yourself. Because one of the philosophies of naturopathy is that the doctor is the teacher, right? So we are more than just you come in, there's a condition, and then you go. It's really to help you to become, because the ultimate is for you to be well, right? And yes, we've figured out what's wrong with you, and then we've used herbs, we've used nutrients, we've used all sorts of things. I'm lucky because sometimes I can get stuff compounded by pharmacists for me, like as a naturopath. But that's the good thing about this. And then we really make sure that we've really changed you. I tend to benchmark. Most of my clients, I'll make sure I want a blood test when you come to see me. So we actually say, okay, this is where we started. We do the treatment, and then we get the blood test again, and we check where we are. Not necessarily just relying on symptoms, but also to tell us, your body to tell us where the improvements have happened. So that way. So when we move out of your life, I've come across patients that I've seen 6-7 years ago when I went into practice, and they're like, oh, since I came to see you, I don't do this anymore. This is what I do. This is how I do my shopping now. And it just makes you feel so good to know that you've actually impacted this person for life. And that is the whole idea, to actually change, there's so much going on in the world. There's good things and bad things. There's good food and bad food. So it's really to kind of impact you as a person and your family and in all that you do, so that the ultimate goal being wellness.
Wow, excellent. And so what do you think of people who say alternative medicine is rubbish? It's not evidence-based and, or scientific-based, so it shouldn't really be practiced at all. What are your thoughts on that?
I know people say that. I probably was one person at one point who thought that. But having gone through my studies, I went through university. I did courses that everybody does. You still look for cases. You still look for, if you go on the internet to search vitamin D uses, search that, you still find the information is there. I think people are lazy to check to see the studies that have been done about herbs, because they are there. Australia is actually very strict about herbs. So you don't get a herb listed without producing at least a couple of studies to show its use. So you can't tell me it's not scientific. TGA will not list a herb without any studies. Let's get that right. They will not list it. It might not be, some people might say they are not very good studies, but people don't want to put money into the studies. So where do you think we're going to get heaps of studies? And just to tell you, Black Moses put in about 10 million, is it 100 million into Southern Coast University for their naturopathic department, so they can start to do more research. And we are going to start to see more and more research coming from naturopaths. And there are naturopaths that are starting to do PhDs. So you can't do a PhD without a study. You got to do a study in order for that PhD to be awarded, right?
That's right.
It's just that people are actually not aware that I spent 6 years at university studying to be a naturopath, right?
Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know you had to take that long to be, deemed qualified.
I couldn't just, inside, what is the major constituents? What is the chemical makeup of that herb? What happens to it when it gets into your body? What happens to it when you take it together with your diabetes medicine? What happens to it when you take it together with your depression medicine? So if people tend to use people that are not qualified, that is where the problem is. Ask your naturopath, are you qualified? Do you have a degree? Do you have a diploma? Do you have postgraduate qualification? Right? So then they understand, because they are scientifically trained. Then we still do your anatomy and physiology like the doctors, like the nurses. We still do 3-4 years of that. We still do, we also learn how to diagnose, how to assess, how to do lab requests, how to even interpret what a blood test is and what does it mean and how, so I think it's really coming from people that have no knowledge of what we do, of what we study, and
Yes.
maybe they haven't really been through to somebody who is actually quite knowledgeable, who can explain to them things, how things, what happens when something is wrong in the body, and scientifically say this is what's happening and this is how we're going to interfere. I always argue with people that we have people that have never seen modern medicine. We have bushmen. We have people who live in Brazil in the middle of Amazon. They live to their 70s, to their 80s. They have never been to a hospital. How are they living? They live because they know their herbs. That's a fact of life. We cannot deny that. No matter what we say, scientific, whatever, that is reality. And we need to admit it for what it is. They may not extract as well as we do now, because we've put science into it as well, so we know we can take a herb from this country and extract it this way so that we get the maximum active from it. But they may not have that, but it still works. And there they are. We've got bushmen in Okavango, there in Botswana, years and years, those Khoi people. They live. What are they doing? So...
Yeah, no, that's a very important point that you have raised there, that how are those people surviving without what we call modern medicine? They have to rely on natural medicine for their survival.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And then also there's a new branch of pharmacy, I'll just add that's called ethnopharmacology, where they're actually going into these communities, taking these herbs and studying them. So that we are building data. Data is being built every single day. Yeah.
And the fact that something has not been fully studied does not necessarily mean that we should dismiss it.
Exactly. True. You're very right.
All right. So I hear you're coming down to, actually, is it down or up? Because you guys are, yes, coming down to Perth, right?
Down to Perth, yes, I am.
Yeah, so what's going on? What's happening in Perth?
We've got a seminar on the 2nd and the 3rd of February. So we've got a seminar on women's wellness.
Okay.
Talking about women's wellness, but this time we're really focusing on fibroids. Because fibroids, they are non-cancerous growths in women in the womb, right, in the uterus. Okay. And there's a slight increase in prevalence at the moment. And the studies that are coming out are showing us that Black women in particular tend to have to be affected more than other races, right?
That's concerning.
And being a Black woman, and being a Black woman myself, and being a woman who's been, I was diagnosed with the fibroid a few years back, and I used natural medicine to shrink it, right? So this is something that I personally have been through, and it's a journey that I've walked through. And just to teach people how to actually identify the symptoms of fibroids. Because what's happening is we are finding with the Black ladies, we are finding that they are being diagnosed much earlier in their late 20s, 26, 27. And then at times it's too late because the fibroids are so many, they need to actually maybe sometimes even consider hysterectomy. And these are young girls that may not even be, in a relationship, they want to have a family, and all of a sudden you're being told that womanhood is actually being taken away from you. And you're left wondering, but how come? Why? And then to find out that this is quite a prevalent disease and nobody ever told you about it, I think it's an injustice to us, to our younger women. I think there's need, even to mothers of daughters, even if you might not even be aware of it, And so I thought, so this year I'm actually going to do a few seminars in Australia and maybe one in Africa, just to start to educate people, to start to see that, there's things that you can do to help yourself. And these are the symptoms. At least let's learn to identify the symptoms.
Wow.
Whether you end up going to see your doctor, you're going to see a naturopath or whoever, but I think it's important to actually identify the symptoms.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
There you go, pet folks. this is one event not to be missed. If you're a woman, Black woman, or you are a friend of a Black woman, you might be white, but you're a friend of a Black woman and you need to be informed, educated. They say that education or information is power. So it's one event that I would and encourage us all to attend and be informed, and also have an opportunity to ask Liz. I know what, the work that she does in the community and what she's really passionate about. She's gone to uni, you have heard it yourself, she's gone to uni to train to do this kind of thing. So she's doing it because she's very concerned about the number of Black women who are being diagnosed with, we've got fibroids on a daily basis, the number, and it's very concerning. I was reading and watching a documentary the other day, Liz, about some of the chemicals that they put in the hair relaxers and being one of the causes of fibroids in many Black women. What do you think about that?
Well, those chemicals are what we call endocrine disruptors or xenoestrogens.
Okay.
So endocrine disruptors are chemicals that affect any hormones in the system, anything to do with the endocrine, because they are chemically similar to the hormones. And so then they either increase that particular hormone in the system or they make it less. But for the hair stuff, there's xenoestrogens, which means they mimic what estrogen does. And so all of a sudden you appear as if you've got too much estrogen, which is what we allude the development of fibroids to. So it's one of those we call an estrogen dominant disease. So it means you end up, and then the body sometimes cannot really tell the difference. So that same chemical structure will go onto an estrogen receptor, and it will just fit in there, and the body thinks that's what it is. But then it has got more effect than your normal estrogen. Hence, we have these problems. They do have an effect, but we couldn't really say they are the cause as such, but they definitely add to the mix of all these other things that are contributing to the increase. And also, even white girls do get fibroids, but at a lesser rate than us.
Okay.
So yes, they are welcome to come to the seminar as well.
Oh, there you go.
Well.
There you go. Yes, yeah. You had to. Yes, yeah. You had to clarify. Thank you.
So I think I'm quite passionate about passing this information about, because you can't be suffering every single month. You've got this terrible period. You're in pain. And also my co-presenter Helen Hart, we are having it at Meandering Wellness Center.
All
and
right.
Helen Hart, my co-presenter, specializes in pain management, and she does help people with pain coming from the fibroids. So let's say you've been diagnosed and they're too big, maybe you're in your late 40s and you're awaiting to have your hysterectomy and you still have the pain. Helen can come in and help you manage the pain while you await for your operation, or while you await, even if it's myectomy where they're just removing the fibroids and leaving the uterus.
Wow. Liz, thank you very much for your time with us. We cannot wait to see you here in Perth. We can't wait for the seminar. We want to be informed and be educated so that we know how to manage ourselves. And they say prevention is better than cure. So
true.
And I don't know, maybe just as a way of us, finishing this off, any word of encouragement, anything that you want to say to our viewers as far as their health and wellness is concerned from a naturopath point of view?
Well, I was going to just let people know that they can buy tickets on Eventbrite. So they're looking for Utano. Yep. Utano in there, that's where they get the tickets from. But I was going to say, I think the most important thing is to make sure you're in the sun enough, because there's lots of vitamin D deficiency going out there. So make sure you're in the sun for not too long, but enough. You're drinking your water minimum 2 liters per day. These are basic things, but we don't do them enough. And having your 5 veggies per day. I think that's a good list just to follow for now.
I can do with that. I don't know.
5 veggies per day.
Yes,
Count
yes.
to 5.
That's why I know you haven't mentioned exercise, so I can do with 5 veggies per day, drinking enough water, and being out in the
And
sun.
definitely being active. Yeah, exactly. Be active in the sun. Yeah.
Oh, Liz, thank you very much for your time. It's been a pleasure having you on Inspiration Plus with Yemu. I hope that in the near future we can actually do a live, and that will give us an opportunity, that will give our viewers and audience an opportunity to actually interact with you and ask you as many questions as they like. But thank you. In the interest of time, we need to tie this in, and all I can say is thank you, and continue to do the work that you're doing and live your passion.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate your time and getting the message out there. Much, much appreciated. We'll see you when we're in Perth. We could even organize to talk then. But anyway, we'll see how it is.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'll see you. Thank you so much, Yemu. Have a great day.
You too. See ya.